Good luck.
Hey everybody, and welcome to yet another episode of the Game Addicts podcast, episode 36. This is the show where we talk about the modern and retro video games that we play and collect. I am your host, Brando. Joining me, as always, is this podcast player too, Mike.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going good. How you doing?
It's going pretty good. We are like a week out from E3, and there was still some news kind of trickling out as we finished up watching the conferences. Of course, because since E3 continues after that, E3 really begins after the conferences anyway for the showroom. But we totally didn't talk about it in the last episode because we didn't know about it because we watched the Nintendo one and went straight to record.
Yep.
The new Metroid game on 3DS.
Pre-ordered.
Which I didn't know about until later on, and it's Metroid Samus Returns.
Which is Metroid 2.
Basically, it is a remake,
Reimagining.
remake or reimagining of Metroid 2 on the original Game Boy, and it's in like 3D 3D models, but it's still 2D gameplay.
Right.
So I mean, it looks good. It looks fantastic. I can't wait to play it.
So that has actually received a lot of backfire because it is not what they wanted.
Because
they didn't want a remake. They wanted a new game.
Well, guess what?
Most gamers did. But when you really consider it, think about how dated Metroid 2 is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you're remaking it, and yeah, it's a remake, but they're adding new suit styles. So you have, and I don't know the name off my head. They're like the churro, whatever new abilities. You have new full set of abilities. You have the ability to basically counter a charge move. Like if they're charging at you, you can counter it, knock them down, and if you shoot, it does a full power-up attack. So it's like it's a critical is what they call it, but it's basically a fully charged beam attack. And the fighting, the gameplay, it's nothing like Return of Samus, the original. So
right.
Really, it's a new Metroid, but it's going off of Samus before, like she's hunting the Metroids. This is leading up to Super Metroid. So I'm okay with it because, one, it's a new Metroid, a new 2D Metroid that looks fantastic with new powers. And I love Metroid 2. That's one of the first Metroid games that I really got addicted to other than Super Metroid. So kudos to you on them.
Well, and just to say that, like, what was it, like 15 years ago, we ended up getting a Metroid Zero Mission.
Yes.
Which was a Super Metroid style of remake for Metroid 1.
Yep.
So, I mean...
And it did well.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, is that, like, I guess I don't really understand the backlash, because we already know Prime 4 is in development.
Yep.
Okay, and then there's this, and it's like, there's enough new here. If they just want to frame it around Metroid 2, that's fine. I don't see any problem with that because that game was so long ago.
Right.
If, for example, just to throw it out there, they were doing the same thing, but it's like, this is Other M. Well, that was just 10 years ago.
Right.
It's like, dude, no, Metroid 2 was like damn near 20 years ago.
Oh, that's longer than that.
Well, actually, yeah,
it's
25.
It's an original Game Boy game.
So it was early 90s, like 91 or something like that.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna look it up.
Your cats are fighting.
Yeah, they always do.
They're rumbling. Have you ever watched them, like, I don't know if your cats do this, but they kind of like they kind of like they get their hind leg in and start kicking back like a UFC fighter, but really slow. Anyway, I mean, we do have a lot of E3 cleanup to kind of go through. We do have like stuff like that, but let's go ahead and start off the show like we always usually do, which we didn't do last week because of different stuff.
We wanted to keep it fresh.
So we're gonna do pickups, and you got quite the large pickup. I got the small pickup.
Yes.
And I just realized I brought the wrong game.
That's okay because you know what? We have the right game right
here.
Here you go.
So you talked me into going to discrete play, and I told you no, I can't. Can't buy nothing.
But you
nothing.
went anyways.
Zero.
You went anyways.
And then we'll see. My goal was to go there to try and convince you to spend all your money.
Thanks.
Well, you had $30.
I know, and I did. I spent it all, other than $1.90.
Mm-hmm. It only cost you $1.67?
I have $1.67 in credit left.
Oh.
So.
Well, right on.
Yeah.
All right, so that's why I was so like, you need to check the box. You need to check the box. Anybody that has talked to us, our local disc replay has this little box where they keep Game Boy Advance, and even Game Gear games
that do not fit in their case.
Yeah, it's overflow, and so like they only fill up the case back up when it starts emptying out a little bit.
Right.
And not a lot of people, far as I know, ask for this box.
We're the only two, and this time was the first time that I've ever had the person sit there and watch us go through it.
I've had it once.
I've never had that before, because most of the time it's people that we know. Like the one guy, Zach, he knows us very well. We're in there all the time. I always strike up a conversation with him, and he's always like, I check the box out. He's like, "Hey, you gonna sort those for me?" Because we always end up sorting them. Like we're like, "Okay, these are the good ones." But yeah.
Yeah. So we kind of walk around the week before when I picked up Skies of Arcadia. Trading in, so for people saying like, well, Brando said he couldn't buy nothing. I didn't buy it. I actually traded it in with store credit.
Yes.
And in fact, I also bought what I bought here with what was left of that.
Right.
Which there wasn't much left.
No.
Well, there was, but I was saving some of that for like a dinner. We were going to like a surprise birthday party or something, so I couldn't spend too much of it. But you wanted the third Golden Sun, which is what is it? Dark Dawn on the DS, because you had one of them and you couldn't remember which one you already had.
Nope.
And then so I convinced you to get the box out of Game Boy games.
This, by the way, for the Game I did update it, but the ones that I hadn't were the GBA, Game Boy, PS2. Well, basically all my handhelds I hadn't updated. So almost all of it, but PS2, because PS2 is my largest collection, and I have to go through and make sure everything's right on the things. But
been there, done that, buddy.
So
did that for all 800
I didn't do it, and you're like, oh, you need to be using that Game I'm like, I am.
Because you had one of them. You had one of the Golden Suns.
Yep.
And I had the DS one, and the one I actually brought, which is the Lost Age.
Right.
Which is the direct sequel to the first Golden Sun, which I actually read. These were originally supposed to be like one game.
Yes.
And then they ended up splitting them up. But
this is the one.
So you had the first Golden Sun.
Right.
And you sent me a text after you bought all three of them and said, which one do you have? And I'll be honest with you, I couldn't remember. And so it turns out the one that I didn't have was the first one.
Right.
So then you gave me that. So now we both have a complete set of Golden Sun games.
Yes.
Which is awesome. And I really thank you for that. That you did not have to just gift that to me.
That's okay.
But I did clean it for you. Or for me.
I was going to say, you did?
No. I did take the stickers off. I also took the stickers off. Well, anyway. So here's the thing. Anybody who's been listening to this show for any period of time, and anybody who stayed tuned, who were in tune to the Final Fantasy episode that we did, know that there's one Final Fantasy game in my Game Boy Advance collection I didn't have. And I didn't have it because this jerk-off sniped it from me. He caught me slipping.
I didn't catch you slipping. It was
she
in
put
my
the box
hand
right here, and you jerked it on your side. So that way you could look at it more.
Well, yeah, because we were messing around about who...
Yeah, but that caused you to see it first.
No, I grabbed a handful first. It was in a handful. I grabbed a handful out, and then because I always grab a handful and flip through them, and when I grabbed the handful and flipped it over, it was the very first one on top, and you're like, meh. I was like, no, it's fine.
So that game is Final Fantasy V Advanced, which is the premier version of 5 to get because there has not been any real remake of the game. The game was retranslated. The translation on PS1 kind of sucks. Yes. The load times on those PS1 ports are pretty poor. So this is the one to get. Now, after you bought that, I looked high and low. I went all the way up to the northern parts of our state to other stores. I went all the way. I scoured the land, and I would always find 4 or 6.
Right.
Never 5. Well, they had 5 in there.
They had two
5s. And needless to say, I did the happy dance. I did the really happy dance.
You did.
And so it was marked at $9.99. It was only $8.99. So I paid less for it than you did when you bought yours.
Right.
So win on my part.
Yes.
But I was so happy to have the game. I was literally, I think I told my wife, I feel like that episode of Family Guy where Lois steals a bunch of stuff, and then she's in her car smoking a cigarette, and she puts it on her arm. She, like, her adrenaline's going so high that she's like, ah!
Right.
That's how I was sitting in the car, like, because when you collect, especially when you're on the hunt,
there's always the few that elude you.
Well, yes, and when you finally find the ones, like for me, I've had quite a few of those over the course of my collecting. Shenmue.
Yes.
Wanted Shenmue so bad. See, and this Skies of Arcadia was
Skies,
sort of the same, except for Skies, unfortunately, wasn't 100% complete because of the case. It didn't have the like CD inserts. It had the label, or I'm sorry, it had the manual, and
right.
It had both discs, but I had to print off the front and the back of the insert, which make it look just fine on my case.
That reminds me.
Or on my shelf.
Live right here on the show, there's a lady selling 8 games. One of them is Medieval 2. Total $10. That'd be half of what I paid. It's just not complete. It doesn't have the manual.
I see.
Yeah.
Well,
I just want to throw that there for you.
They had other games in the box that I wanted. I looked at Phantasy Star Collection for the GBA, and the thing that really, like, number one, I wasn't going to buy anything else. But I actually found that before I found this, I think.
Yes, because we didn't do the box till last.
Well, no, that was in the box. But this was further down in the box.
Yes, yeah. You did see that first.
Because we found the Golden Suns. We found a few Pokemon games. Fire Red was in there for like a really good price, only like $8.
Right.
Was that you?
No, that's you.
Is that me? I thought I turned my vibration off. No, I didn't. Well, shucks. See, like, that's the thing about like my Twitter feed is that now that I'm actually active in the damn thing, and I share the podcast stuff for both this show and Journey to Comics,
it blows up.
I just do. Yeah, I get blown up. So it's like half the time if my phone vibrates, I don't even look at it, which is bad because someone trying to get a hold of me. But there was also it was the Phantasy Star Collection, and I looked it up on my phone because I'm like, does this have all 4? And it only had 3.
Right.
Which if I'm gonna buy it, I want it to have all 4. I guess there's a version in Japan on the Saturn that had all 4, but for some reason when they ported it to America on the GBA, they only put 3 of them on there. Maybe it's just for space limitation.
Maybe.
It has to be. But I had quite a few good games in there, which last few times I've looked in the box, there's been like 1 or 2, and that's it.
And you know what? A lot of them were on top.
Mm-hmm.
It's like somebody came in and dumped them, but
Mario 3 Advance.
A lot of them don't. They don't go through and be like, okay, look. And we did it for them this time. I set aside all the games like, you need to put this in the case. This needs to go out. You will sell this if it's out. I promise. And she's like, okay. No, like, these are desirable, like, top shelf games, like Final Fantasies. If you have Final Fantasies, they need to be out.
Yeah. I agree. And that's exactly what's the same with Pokemon.
Oh, yeah. She has like 4 Pokemon games in there.
I should never find a Pokemon game in the box.
No. Never.
You know, and I understand they only have so much room, but they also, if you go out there and look, there are no Pokemon games out there.
Nope.
And Pokemon has been still riding the high off Pokemon Go. Less people play it now,
right.
But if they're wanting to play old games, and they go, I played Pokemon Go last year.
Well, here's the thing, though. Excuse me. It's a little bit on the rise after, hey, first console, Pokemon coming soon.
And here's the thing: is that like in bigger cities and closer to like Chicago and everything, the prices on those games did go up, but down here they didn't.
Yeah.
Because I went and I bought Silver, the original Silver, and Leaf Green. I think each of those are like $8 a piece. And up north they're going like $20.
Yeah, it's stupid.
$25. And then of course you have like your Silver, your Soul Silver and Heart Gold remakes on the DS. Those are $40. That's brand new price.
Yep.
Of what they came out. So like I'm just floored by that. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
But that's Nintendo stuff, especially first party Nintendo stuff.
Yes.
So very happy to have FF5 in the family. Very happy to have it done.
That's a complete number. You have all complete numbers now, correct?
Well, I had 5, yes. Excuse me, man. That BK you got us is starting to creep back up on us.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I already had 5 on PS1, so I had a copy of it. But now I have a single copy of just it.
Right.
So now, like, when you look at my FF collection, I have 1 through 15, one copy of each somewhere, standalone.
Right.
So that was those are my only two, and one of them was a gift from you. So I really appreciate that.
You're welcome. All right, so I'm gonna go with not all this first. I have a lot. Not a lot, but not like before where I have a box and it's up on the table.
Yeah,
and
no
let's
kidding.
Go.
Like that was half the show.
All right, so as he stated previously, I purchased all the Golden Suns. Golden Sun Dark Dawn is complete. It's a DS game, so it has the original case. The GBA games are not. That's okay. What I do. They're good games. First one, and then this one is.
It's so tiny. See
the Lost Age.
Do you see why I grabbed the wrong one though?
That's why I couldn't remember, because they're so similar in colors.
Well, I mean, this is like a dark green. This one's a blue, but then like they don't put a Golden Sun 2, and then they put like the tiny little subtitle down there, and it's like. Honestly, last night I was just packing up my stuff for today to bring it over, and I just opened up my GBA drawer on and I grabbed FF5 and I'm like, Golden Sun, there it is, boom, and I just threw it in my bag.
Yeah, but I was really excited to get these. These are really good RPG games. They're a little different. They're kind of like old school dungeon crawler games when it comes to the fighting. So it has the turn-based fighting, but it pulls up the text. It doesn't have floating text. So
now, let me look at really quick to see the name of the company that actually made it. Okay, I'll just type in Golden Sun.
It's
It doesn't say on there because they made some other games as well. Camelot Software.
Camelot. That's right. I knew the name of it.
All right, so. They've made some games in the past. So what we're going to do is that we're going to go through and we're going to look at all the games that they have developed and what they are currently developing.
Oh, okay.
So in '91 they released Shining in the Darkness for the Sega Mega Drive / Genesis. Then they made Shining Force Gaiden. Second of which were on the Game Gear. The first one was on the Genesis. And then you had Shining Force 2 on the Genesis, Shining Force Sword of Hyjia, Shining Force CD on the Mega CD, Shining Force Gaiden Final Conflict on the Game Gear, Shining Wisdom on the Saturn.
Jesus. And
then so that was all on Sega. And then they went and they made a game for PlayStation called Beyond the Beyond. And it was a Sony exclusive. And it's an RPG. And in fact, the battle system for Golden Sun, heavily inspired by Beyond the Beyond. It's almost the exact same.
Huh.
It was in '95. It was seen as like, this isn't that impressive. But then when they brought it back for Golden Sun, people were like, whoa! So clearly, I think when people were going to CD-based games, they were just ready for something different.
Yeah.
But when you're looking at it like that system on like a handheld, people are like, well, this is awesome,
Right, I guess.
And then they went for Sega Saturn, Shining the Holy Ark. Then they made Everybody's Golf for PlayStation, which they're making a new Everybody's Golf. I don't know if you heard that.
Huh.
PlayStation's making a new one. Shining Force 3.
Lots of shining.
Yeah, lots of shiny. So then they made some more Shining Force 3, Scenario 2, Scenario 3, and Premium Disc, all for the Saturn. Then we go to 1999, where they make Mario Golf and Mario Tennis for the 64 and Game Boy Color.
Huh.
Then they make Golden Sun. Then they make Mobile Golf for the Game Boy Color. Then they make Golden Sun: The Lost Age. Then they make Mario Golf Toadstool Tour on the GameCube. Mario Golf Advance Tour. Mario Power Tennis. Mario Tennis Power Tour. We love golf.
We love golf.
For Capcom. New Play Control. Mario Power Tennis for the Wii. Golden Sun Dark Dawn. Mario Tennis Open. Mario Golf World Tour. Mario Tennis Ultra Smash. And finally, Mario Sports Superstars.
Huh.
And so they make a lot of like sports games, but they made sports and RPGs, and that's pretty much it. But they really have it like they made like all the Shining Force games for Sega.
Right.
They made the Golden Sun games, and then they've made Beyond the Beyond, and the rest have all been like Mario Golf and tennis and stuff like that.
Right. All right.
Just a little bit of interesting thought that I thought of when I looked the games up, because I'm like,
right.
Who would have thought that a really hardcore RPG company would like right now they're making like Mario Tennis?
Right. All right. So I bought a bundle. Now I bought a GameCube bundle.
This was on Facebook Marketplace.
Facebook Marketplace, and I bought it for 2 reasons. Well, 4. We can say 4. It had Mario Kart Double Dash, complete, Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time with the Master Quest, and 2 Wavebirds. One of the Wavebirds does not have a receiver. I asked her, and she just kind of looked at me like, I don't know what you're talking about. Sure, whatever. But, and also a brand new thing. So we're going to go through these each. Right now, we're going to open a new old thing.
A new old thing.
Just because you know why.
Yeah. So this is a Nyko.
A Nyko 35X. The save capacity memory card for the Game Boy. Or
Game Boy? Holy crap!
I didn't know they made those.
I didn't know either.
Gamecube.
128 megabytes.
128 megabytes. It's huge.
You need scissors?
No. It's so old and brittle I could just... Look, it's broken. I might be able to get it. We're going to find out. Oh, yep, there we go.
So
actually wrap stuff well.
And you also you had a lot of third-party memory cards and controllers back then.
Yes.
Like memory cards, such the fad was that back then for like the PS2 as well, where you would get double the space, triple the space, quadruple the
Smell
space. Couldn't smell anything.
You can when I pull this over. When I take this all out, you'll be able to smell it. I can smell it.
You're weird.
I am. You do it to your games too.
There it is.
Yep.
Fresh plastic.
Fresh plastic. This is literally super pristine.
It looks cool, dude.
It looks great. But it was just neat whenever she showed it to me. Like back in the day, these were what, like $15, $20?
Probably around there. Your label thing.
Yes. So, yeah, I was super happy to get this. But clearly, whenever I did this, and some people will say, "Why would you do this?" But so when I purchased this, after I gave her the money, I stopped and I told her how much every piece was worth.
Did you really?
I did. And she just looked at me like, I don't really care. And I was just like, next time you should probably research this. But
don't do that.
I asked her if she had anything else before. I was like, anything else? Like, any other systems or anything like that? She was, no, this is just, it's been sitting around and blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, cool. So, I know I'm not supposed to do that, but I did it anyways. It's okay.
Silly.
I'm not a silly goose. Hey, get your hands off of it.
I wanted to see it real quick because this is the last one I need for my Zelda.
Is it?
Yeah. I've got the Zelda, the promotional disc.
Yeah.
That comes with that came with the system at one point. And it has Zelda 1 and 2 on the NES, and then Ocarina and Majora's.
Right.
For the 64. And this, I don't know when this was released. It was sometime after. This is a not for resale disc, and also included get a sneak peek at these other hot titles, including F-Zero, 1080 Avalanche, Wind Waker, Wario World, Metroid Prime, and Link to the Past: Four Swords. But this is really cool. And honestly, if this isn't sitting where I thought it was sitting as far as like
price,
I thought it was higher.
I thought it was too. It's only sitting at like 31.
And when I looked it up, it was under 20. Because I looked it up. I didn't look. I didn't look it up on GameEye. I went right to price charting. I like how we're both looking it up.
Right.
Ocarina of Time, Master Quest, right here. Complete, $22.
Loose. It's more loose than it is.
See, that's silly. It's silly how that is.
I hate that.
But I've actually seen that up north at around $40 before. But that's where I thought it was, and then I looked it up again.
Well, I guess complete in box is $24.
So that's on Game Eye?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not terrible. But so
Double Dash though.
Double Dash is
33. I'll look it up. You keep talking. I'll look it up.
Okay. So this is one of the primary reasons because I want this. I've wanted it for a while, but I've never seen it in person. So for her to have it, I was super excited.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
34.
So you were close. Complete. So I like the disc. It's the Flaming Zelda symbol. I liked it. It was really neat. It's party. But, and I'm, to be 100% honest, the real reason why I bought this, Double Dash.
I knew it.
I saw it, and no matter what else was going with it, I was buying it. This is my case. My sister lost my original game somewhere. So when I found this, I was like, oh, yes. And I grabbed it. And then I opened it up, and I was like, really? So I got it back. This was one of my favorite GameCube games, period.
Mm-hmm.
It was an amazing game. So, it's Double Dash. To me, this was the last good one until 8.
Yes. Yeah, sure. I'm with you there. 8 is amazing.
Okay. Then some of the bonus ones I got is the Sonic Mega Collection, which this is good. This is cool. It has 1, 2, 3 Sonic and Knuckles, 3D Blast, Spinball, and
Bean Machine, isn't it?
The Bean Machine. And it says that there is unlockable games and secrets, whatever that is.
I want to say there might... now, I have that as well. And then I did have it on PS2. In fact, I might have 2 copies of that. One on Cube and one on PS2. Because the one on PS2, I want to say the one I had was Sonic... What is it? Sonic Mega Collection?
Yeah.
And the one I had was like Sonic Mega Collection Plus. And in fact, I do have them both. I have the first one like you have, and I have Plus, and the Plus one contains all of the Game Gear games.
Ooh.
So
that's pretty nice. So this is complete. I was super excited for that too. Also because, it's Sonic, and now I have them all since my Sega won't work on this TV.
Exactly. There you go.
Now I have a way to play Sonic.
If you ever get the itch, you want to play any Sonic, there it is right there.
Now, the other one is Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2005. I really don't care. It came with it. No interest. But 2-disc.
What?
It's a 2-disc golf game. It looks like it's never even been played. Like, the white is still brand new.
There's a few fingerprints on it. Like, did you take them out when you look at them?
Yes. Well, I had to take them out to play it, to check them, make sure they all worked.
Why are there 2 discs?
I don't know.
His face, though, looks almost the same as in his DUI picture that we just
Anyways, next one, and this is a game. These are games that I want on this system because I played them on this system, and I enjoy them a lot more on this system than I have on any other one.
Now, is that nostalgia factor part of that as well?
Yes. Need for Speed Underground 2. It's 2.
I think I've got that one on there too.
I have it for PS2.
You already have it for PS2?
Yeah, but it came with it, and I'd much rather have them on this system.
Well, you're not going to get rid of it.
No.
I'm going to look up my GameCube games.
Okay. So it came with the console. It came with, as I've stated, 2 Wavebirds with only 1 receiver. Now, looking this up online, I was like, I want another receiver. $20. That's pretty much what I'm going to pay. $20.
And the full deal is actually I think it's like $35 for a Wavebird.
$35-$40
for a complete one, which kind of sucks because people know how much these little dongles are wanted and needed, and so if people are aware of what they have, they're gonna upcharge it.
I was watching for a while on eBay, but people were just, I guess, emailing the guy saying, "I'll give you $20," and he's taking it.
When I got my Wavebird, it was on eBay. I used to have a Wavebird when I had the GameCube, and then I sold my GameCube. I know, because I sold my entire Resident Evil collection. Because now each one of those games is worth almost $40 used. I'm very, very, very like when I mean those, I mean like RE2, 3, Code Veronica X.
Right.
Not the newer ones, not 4 or the remake or 0. But I had the ports of those on the GameCube. So I had the entire series on the GameCube.
Uh-huh.
And I traded them in. I took them in, got a bunch of money, went and bought a 3DS.
So, I received a regular controller, a Platinum. The system is Platinum. The GameCube that I got is Platinum, which is funny. Now, as you stated, we have all 3 colors released in the U.S.
Hint, hint, hint. The next episode that we do is actually going to be GameCube retrospective, which is funny because we had 2 options. We could either do this one or the Xbox. And we just said, you know what, let's do the GameCube. And then like literally that night or the next day, you're like, look what I found. I'm going to go buy it.
Yeah.
And it was this bundle.
And then I also got, I think you stated this, a Mad Cat 16 times memory card that came with the system. So I got 2 memory cards. System, which is in immaculate condition. I didn't have to, but I did anyways just because it's who I am. I cleaned the system. All I really had to do was use the dust off, the duster.
Have you question?
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure I already know the answer. But okay, so if you get into here and you get under here, have you unscrewed these and taken this apart before?
No.
I've done it to mine. Holy crap!
It's compact.
It is so compact in there.
Yeah. I've seen videos of it, but I've never done it myself because I've only owned one. Now that I own a second one, I wouldn't mind taking one apart because I don't need to.
Well, see, I did it when I was starting to. I decided to do a clean on all my consoles.
Right.
And so I really didn't take the whole insides apart. I didn't do all that. I took it apart so I can dust it really good.
Right.
And I took it apart in first hand. It was like, holy crap.
Holy crap. But those are my pickups. Everything works great. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
I do have this on GameCube. And I also have Hot Pursuit 2 on GameCube.
There's some other ones, but around here it's really hard. We never get GameCube games, and if they do, they're gone the same day. I know that when I purchased Sunshine, the guy brought it in, and I told the guy to not put it in the back. Just retag it, and I'll buy it right here on the spot.
I got so lucky when I bought Paper Mario.
Yes, you
took it home, and it didn't work. It wouldn't even load up past the beginning video. And I took it back, and it was honestly, from our disc replay, probably one of 2 or 3 times I've ever had that happen in years.
Yes, they're very good.
They're really good about having their stuff work. And I took it in, and I was so afraid where he's like, we don't have another one, so we can either get something else or just we'll give you store credit back on it. And I'm just like, oh, man. And he goes, I'll go look and see if we got another one. And I'm like, they don't. And he goes, we do. And it wasn't in the right case. It was brought in without a case. And I asked him if I could just keep the case and the manual that I already got. And he goes, absolutely. I'm like, yes. And then he extended my, warranty or my 14-day warranty on it, and then wrote his name down on the receipt. So I took it back home and it worked just fine. But I'm so excited to talk about the GameCube because I'll be honest with you, out of the 3 on those, this was my second one that I got. I ended up getting the Xbox pretty much when it was on its deathbed because they killed it early. Yeah. And people were trading them in towards the 360 at that point. I want to say I got my Xbox in the summer of 2005. I got this in the winter, December of 2003. This was when I got my GameCube. Huh. I remember it specifically. I have really weird memories about this because
yes, you do.
Because the same day that I got this, I ended up getting 2 GameCubes at one point. I had 2.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I had one in each hand. Because we bought one at Sam Goody, and then we went down to GameStop, and they had the one with the Zelda disc. Because I wasn't going to get a game for a while.
Right.
Because the game I wanted was Metal Gear. Like the remake of the first Metal Gear Solid. So I wasn't going to get a game with it, which I said, that's fine. I just want to pick one up because they were only $99 at the time.
Right.
So then we went and returned the other one. And I could just imagine that guy going, yeah, I just sold it to you. Like, yeah, we got one better down there.
Right, same price.
That same day, I got Metallica S&M DVD. And then I ended up that night. I went and hung out with Nate from Trinity Comics, and then the other band members. And we watched S&M all night.
It's awesome.
It's good memories. Yeah.
So yeah, those are our pickups. Did good. Oh, $60 for this.
Yeah,
I did say $60 for the entire bundle. So that'd be 2 Wavebird, 1 complete Wavebird, 1 without a receiver, a standard controller, Zelda, Ocarina of Time Master Quest, Underground 2, Tiger Woods, Sonic, and Mario Kart. And 2 memory cards.
It's not bad, man.
1 unopened, but we opened it here.
Hell yeah.
Just for reasons.
Hell yeah.
That's what we do.
You know what you need to get now?
Another Wavebird? No.
No. Well, I mean, yeah, you need to get another dongle. You need to get the Gameboy Advance player for the bottom of it.
Oh, I want it. I want the internet thing too. The modem.
What for? Just to have it on
Just
the bottom.
have it.
Well, see, you need to get the Game Boy Advance one because then when we start streaming, you can stream Game Boy Advance games.
Yeah, we could.
From that.
We could.
Granted, I also have another way to do that. I have the Retro Advance player that hooks into the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
And it has a video out cable.
Still very sad about the Retron 5 screwing up on me.
I know, man.
I still haven't done anything about it yet.
And that's your fault.
It is.
That is
I've just been so disappointed that, and I've been busy with there's been a lot of stuff going on.
Speaking of the Retron 5.
Yes, let's just hop into a new topic.
We will. Good segue. So.
You're welcome.
There was a teaser just a few days ago from Atari.
Yes.
Apparently, Atari is back in the hardware business, and they released a teaser, and it just showed like plastic with wood grain and a light up Atari symbol. A CEO from Atari confirmed such that they are making a new console based.
That was me.
Man.
You like that?
Excuse you.
Yes.
They are making a new console, and it is based on PC technology, and we will reveal more at a later date. We know nothing.
So, I watched it frame by frame because that's what I do.
Sometimes. It was just a teaser.
It's just a teaser, but there seems to be 4 controller ports, and I saw no visible evidence of it being disc or cartridge. There was no slot shown. So, I'm thinking it's going to be a stream box.
You think a stream box?
I think it's a stream box or just
like a Steam box?
Like a Steam box.
See, because I've heard there's almost no one that believes that this is an actual current gen console.
Yeah, I don't think it will be.
There are some that believe that this is basically their version of the NES Classic, where they've already been doing the Atari flashbacks, right?
Right.
And they've already been putting those out. They've been doing quite a few of those. I think they're on 8 now, Atari Flashback 8. But if they can release one that has a bunch of them released on one console through HDMI,
yes,
and maybe allows for online integration. Maybe they can have an online store where they sell the old Atari games. Maybe they can do some homebrew stuff.
I'd like to see some homebrew stuff.
Because, I mean, there is a developer out there who used to work for Bungie that made Halo 2600. Made Halo on the Atari. So, I don't know, man. It's just, I don't know. I really don't know what to think. Because part of me wishes that just out of the blue, Atari would just come back with a big console.
It would be awesome. Because they're just like, boom. Everybody's just like, what?
Atari? Yeah.
Who's these guys? And then we're back here going, yeah. They were there before anyone else.
Well, see, I really don't have much nostalgia for Atari. I didn't grow up playing Atari.
I didn't either.
I don't even remember playing Atari. The only early console that I can remember playing before the NES, and I don't even remember if I played it before the NES. I kind of, this way my memory kind of goes, is I think I did, was the ColecoVision. I remember playing ColecoVision, and I remember playing Smurfs Return to Gargamel's Castle. Because it was like a side scroller, and you could just go this way. Or actually, for the camera, you just go this way. But I never did play the Atari. I never got into it. So like for my collection purposes, I've never collected Atari. I haven't bought it. I've had chances to buy a 2600 at a pretty cheap price. But I've never jumped on it. One, for space. I don't really have the space. And number two, I don't have the nostalgia for Atari.
Yeah.
Pretty cool though. That day that me and you went to Disc Replay last week, I was sitting in the car talking to my wife, coming down from the high, from that big ball of crack that I just snorted. That was the FF5 cartridge.
Yes.
And I saw a kid, probably, I'm gonna throw an age out there, 11, 12, 13, maybe, with his dad, leaving Disc Replay with a stack of Atari cartridges, and the kid was like looking at him as they were walking out.
Huh.
It's like, that is cool.
That is cool.
That is pretty cool, and I really hope to have that kind of relationship with my kid, that he really gets into gaming and not just like what's on the tablet or what's on this. Like, he really appreciates gaming how I appreciate it.
Right.
I'm hoping, but no, my luck, he's going to be into sports and cars and stuff I'm just totally not into.
I don't think he will.
He probably not, because he's so obsessed with our phones the way it is. There's another console though.
There is, and it had a name change.
It did. We've talked about it here before. We talked about it on the PlayStation. I believe it was the PlayStation retrospective. Well, so what console was that on?
PS2.
PS2.
Had to do pause for a second.
Yeah. So on that episode,
I swear it was on PlayStation.
2.
2.
It was on the second one. Yeah, Mike totally messed up, and like when we picked our favorite games for that console, he
picked a GameCube game.
Well, it was also an Xbox game,
right,
and a PS2 game.
Yeah.
So.
Wrong generation.
To be fair, he waited till the last minute to make his list, just remembering games that he liked, and failed.
He was wrong.
Failed miserably.
He was very wrong.
Anyway, so we talked about the Retroblox console on that episode, where we looked at the system, and it was basically a module-based system, where you have the system base, and you have these modules that you buy that you plug into them, and that's where it reads your consoles. That's where you plug in your controllers and all that stuff.
And the base reads discs.
I think so, yes.
Yes, the base read was red disc.
The base reads the discs, and it does support Sega CD and PlayStation and PS1. They have just announced 2 more CD-based add-ons that they're gonna support: TurboGrafx CD, so Turbo CD games, and Neo Geo CD games.
Yeah.
So
good luck finding a Neo Geo CD game.
Yeah, I've actually seen them up north.
Yeah, up north. They're definitely not right.
And
there.
Actually, up there, I've actually seen a couple of the big Neo Geo cartridges that sell for like $200.
It takes 2 hands to set it.
Dude, they're massive.
They're massive.
But I just think it's so cool. Now, the name has been changed to Polymega.
Right.
And they have recently revealed their controller. And I actually just showed this to you
in the car.
In the car as we went to go get some food.
I like the design of it. It's very similar to a PS2 controller or a PS4 controller. Ugh.
Yeah, it takes some influence. It doesn't. I don't think it affects anybody's patents or anything like that.
No.
The D-pad is a more traditional, like Super Nintendo type D-pad. You have your A, B, X, Y buttons, face buttons. So more like Xbox. Or you have your home button. You have a turbo button, clear button, start and select. And then you're going to have your 2 shoulder buttons, your 2 sets of shoulder buttons.
Right.
Now, what's also cool about this console is that it will allow you to stream to Twitch directly from the console.
Yes.
So if you're playing an old game, you just stream it right up. And then there's also going to be some sort of marketplace in place, and they're trying to team up with third-party developers.
That would be sweet.
To try and get their games to where you can download them.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome. And also, so this was going to be Kickstarted. Not anymore.
Really?
It's funded 100%.
Oh.
This game, the system is now 100% coming out, and
that doesn't surprise me for what it is. You're talking about having the ability to have all retro consoles on one platform, and all you need is to
put them, and you can buy the ones that you want. Right. It's not like the Retron 5 where on there was the ability to play Famicom games. Well, you don't have any Famicom games.
Nope.
How many Famicom games do you see around here?
2.
2.
I've seen 2. I can honestly say I've seen 2.
I've seen a Super Famicom set come into Disc Replay once where they had the console and a bunch of games for it.
Right.
But
it didn't last very long.
No.
But I saw 2. They still had somebody bought the games, but left the system in 2 cartridges. That's why I said I've seen 2.
But I mean, okay, so for the Retron 5, you're gonna buy more than what you really need.
Yes.
For this, it's like, you know, they're gonna have an NES, SNES, Genesis. The Genesis one also reads 32X.
Right. Yep.
At the same, so that's a big bonus.
And also, this is something that I would like to see a base price of the base system with. I assume that they're going to sell it with one module.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming that you get to choose your module. That would be that'd be the way to go. If it was me and I was selling it, I would say, okay, you get the base, $100 or $200, $300 for everything, but you pick your module.
See, that'd be badass.
Because $300 I think would be a fair price, because you're talking about, okay, it comes with a PS4 style controller, wireless, and then you get the capability of playing 4 now discs, or 2 right out the gate, and then 1 module. So, to me, $250, that's a good price, because then I can go out and be like, all right, $50 a module. All right, I'll go buy the ones I want and save console space.
Yeah.
I will still own the consoles. Don't get me wrong, I'm never going to get rid of the consoles. I already purchased them, they're here. But that will save a lot of space up there. Because if you look there, I don't have much space.
Right.
You don't have half the space that I do.
Well, I do a lot with the space that I have, to be honest with you.
You do.
Because I've got 2 TVs.
And the big thing is, like, it's able to be streamed to Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big plus for us also.
Oh, yeah. I mean...
Because then we can just use Elgato to capture.
Yeah, something like that, you know. And then, of course, it's HDMI out. It supports 1080p out.
Hopefully they do what the Retron 5 did. The ability to make it look like the original. Not try to make everything look
I think you can. I think I saw the demo for it. Another thing that this has been said, this does not dump your ROMs like the Retron 5. This reads the cartridge. It reads the disc.
Oh, good. It reads the original hardware.
Like the original hardware is not in there, but it has hardware that reads that from that.
Right.
You know, so it acts like the original hardware.
Which I didn't like the dumping, because 9 times out of 10 it didn't work. You had to take it out.
Try it again.
Back again.
Yeah. The guys that are creating this, 2 of the guys, they used to work for Insomniac Games. They made Ratchet and Clank series and all that kind of stuff. So they've been in the gaming industry, and they kind of know what they're doing, and they're making what they want to see. They're making this system, no 2 ways about it, is geared towards the retro collector. It's geared toward the retro gamer who wants to own physical media.
Yes.
Because I was talking to a guy at work about it, and he was like, well, I've got all the PS1 and PS2 games I ever want on my computer. I'm like, and he goes, and I don't care to own them. I'm like, then this system is not for you.
Right.
I'm like, because if you want to collect PS1, the games, and while there are plenty of PS1 and PS2s and PS3s out there that can play these games, here is a HDMI output, way for you to get out, for them to look great on your TV. PS3 notwithstanding, because that does like 720p out.
Right.
But this will get 1080p for your PS1 games, and it will have save states and all that kind of stuff.
And that's a huge plus for me, because I've lost all my consoles
Mm-hmm.
to be able to play them on a 4K TV. Now I have the ability to gain them back. Yeah. I'm super excited about that.
And this is just, I think this is just a way to, just like the Retron 5 was, and some of these other ways, is to play the older games onto newer televisions,
right?
Without having to go around, without having to do the converters, without having to do all this kind of stuff. So it's like the Retron 5 was that, and then they just released the Retron HD, which is just the NES. It is a Retron made system that is just the NES, and it's a HDMI out. They're capitalizing on the NES Mini.
Yeah.
Where it's like NES Mini's gone. People are like, what? and then like Hyperkin's like, guess what, guys? Retron HD, like $50. Go buy all the cartridges you want and reads them, or dumps them, and then it's pretty cheap because on the back it has a switch for you to switch between 16:9 and 4:3, so you can have the original aspect or you just do the other one. So it's just a switch. There is no like menu or system or anything. You stick the game in and then you go.
It's one thing that I don't like about the Retrons is they feel very cheap.
Yeah,
mine felt very cheap.
I mean, it's plastic, but
that was actually the best feeling Retron I've ever felt.
And it didn't work.
Well, after like 5 times of playing it, it didn't work anymore. Awesome.
That sucks. Maybe there's a way to fix it.
No, it's a reset. They have to give you a new one. The thing is like with this, Polymega going out now. That's what I really would rather have. So I if I send it back to them, they're gonna want to send me another one.
Yeah, no, they're not gonna
give me money back. So that's why I've kind of kept it. It's just like
I need to just get it back.
Well, see, if you would send it back and they would give you another one, maybe you could resell it.
Right, that's what I need to do.
So like that's what I would do. So as far as like that goes, that's kind of all I have for the system stuff. But some E3 stuff, some leftover stuff. They talked about Mario Odyssey co-op mode,
which is interesting.
Where I'm not sure if I'm understanding it correctly, but one person controls Mario, another person controls the hat.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
I don't know how it works either. I mean, granted, I think there was something on IGN talking about it, but I'm like, oh, cool, I'll watch it later, and then I never did.
Then later never came.
But the Xbox, the Xbox One X games that display in the HDs, which actually, I actually left that page, so now I gotta go find it again.
I do remember the number.
It was 63, wasn't it?
Yes.
So there are 63 titles as of right now that play in 4K. That's not the right one. I'm looking for the article now. I had it pulled up, but then I ended up leaving it so I could read you that Switch update. Which really, guys, there was an update for the Switch. Some new stuff got kind of added in. Some pretty rudimentary stuff is not really worth going into too much. 63. Here we go. I found it. 63 confirmed 4K compatible games. Quite the long list, so stay with me. Some of these are not out yet, but they will either be out or they have been announced at running on this. You have Anthem, Ashen, Ark, Survival Evolved, The Artful Escape of Francis Vendetti, Assassin's Creed Origins, Astroneer, Black Desert, Chess Ultra, Crackdown 3, The Darwin Project, Dead Rising 4, Deep Rock Galactic, Dishonored 2, Dovetail Games Eurofishing, Doom, Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball Fighters Z. That's how you say it, apparently. Fighters. The Elder Scrolls Online, Everspace, Fallout 4. That would look crazy in 4K.
I know.
Farming Simulator 17, FF15. That'll look good in 4K too. For Honor, Forza Horizon 3, Forza Motorsport 7, which that game looked pretty.
Freaking amazing.
It looked so pretty. Gears of War 4, Ghost Recon Wildlands, Halo Wars 2, Hitman, I assume that is the newer one that came out, the episodic one. Homefront, The Revolution, Injustice 2, Killer Instinct, Killing Floor 2, The Last Night, Life is Strange Before the Storm, Madden NFL 18, Mantis Burn Racing, Metro Exodus, Middle-earth, Shadow of War, Minecraft, Need for Speed Payback, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Outlast 2, Paladins, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, Portal Knights, Raiders of the Broken Planet, ReCore, RE7, Rime, Rocket League, Sea of Thieves, Skyrim Special Edition. Ooh. Babaking.
Don't tell her. I'll text her. Don't tell her.
You'll be screwed.
You don't have to get one.
Slime Rancher, State of Decay 2. Super Lucky's Tale. That's that one game with the fox that reminded me of Conquer at first.
Yeah.
Super Hot. The Surge, Tacoma,
Super
Titanfall
hot,
2.
hot.
Warhammer, Vermintide, We Happy Few, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, and World of Tanks. So the so far that are all the games that are coming out, or either are out already. They're going to be getting an update, or will be coming out. Another thing of news I saw just today is Modern Warfare Remastered that came bundled in with Infinite Warfare, which the only way that you could get it is to buy Infinite Warfare.
Yep.
And then
the special edition one. The $70.
It was like $80.
Yeah.
So you had to pay like $20 more, and then you got both games. But you had to redeem it, and you could only use the Infinite Warfare disc to play it, because if you sold that disc and still wanted to play Modern Warfare Remastered, they wouldn't let you.
Yeah.
Cheap.
Yes.
And you like how they said, well, we reacted to our fan base, and that's why we're going back to World War II. You knew fans were not going to be into this.
Yeah.
And, well, I mean, I think they were getting a feeling, and then during that time period, they're like, we need to get this out.
Yeah.
With it. So, apparently retailers are already receiving their copies. And there it is right there.
Huh.
Best remaster of the year from IGN, Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. And there has been no comment from Activision on this. Basically, it's
we screwed up. Here you
go. Well, it was almost like, well, we don't care right now if you guys buy Infinite Warfare because we're more worried about the next one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll go ahead and put this out for people who just want to buy this.
Yeah, pretty much.
Basically, they're going to fulfill the demand for people who have not yet bought that.
Right.
Who are waiting, or who are waiting or didn't want to buy Infinite Warfare to get that version. Now you're going to be able to.
Right.
What else was there news coming out? I don't know. I can't think. I didn't write it down.
Yeah.
I failed. Again, the Switch got an update today, allowing you to do.
Friend requests.
Yeah, well, you can already do that, but you can add the people who you already had on your friends
right.
list on 3DS and Wii U. There was a statement from Sony. So all this stuff that we saw before, where Xbox said, we are uniting the Minecraft community. You'll be able to play cross-platform on any platform. Minecraft. You'll be able to just if you play it on the Xbox and I have it on iPad, we'll be able to play together.
Right.
Except for one PlayStation.
Huh.
PlayStation is not allowing cross-play for anything. Rocket League is going to have cross-play for Switch, Steam, and Xbox. Except PlayStation. PlayStation is getting some heat over this because apparently one of the guys said is that we have to protect our user base. We have to protect the kids that play on our system. And basically, if they're going to go and they're going to do a cross-platform onto another console, like cross-net,
yeah,
we can't guarantee their safety.
Right.
And then Phil Spencer responded, we also protect our guys. We're not going to let something happen to anybody playing Minecraft. We're not going to let, we have the same commitment. And so basically here's what you got to do to play Minecraft with other players. You have to create an Xbox Live account.
Huh.
So when you go to play online cross-plat on Minecraft, you are going to have to create an Xbox Live account, and it's going to use that account to link you to Xbox players.
Huh.
So it's like a pass-through, right?
Right.
So if you're on a PlayStation, it'll send you to a web page or a screen where you have to create an Xbox account on your PlayStation. That's why PlayStation's not doing it.
Yeah.
It's legality. And really, it's probably just fine. They're just like, oh, I'm not doing it. And really, they don't care because they have 60 million people who have PS4s.
Right.
So it's like, we have enough people. They don't care. But really, it's like, it's something stupid because if you're playing, it's not like Rocket League and Minecraft or like these big open world MMOs, shooters or anything like that, where
right.
like you are looking at doing it's Minecraft, it's Rocket League, it's people sitting down to play a mindless game with their friends.
Yep.
And to have fun. And say you sold your systems, you go, I'm just sick. PlayStation's not impressing me. Xbox isn't impressing me. Sega's not impressing me. Atari's not impressing me. I just smacked my microphone.
Screw that mic.
I bought a Switch. I'm all into my Switch.
Right.
I got Rocket League. Hey, buddy, do you want to play? I got PlayStation. Why shouldn't we be able to play Rocket League together? I understand in some cases you can't do that, but if the developers want it, okay, if Psyonix is saying we want to unite the Rocket League player base across all the platforms to be able to create one awesome space for people to play together.
Right.
And PlayStation are the only guys going, no. When Nintendo's allowing it.
Yeah.
Nintendo.
Mister, I never let anyone see my franchise ever. We don't even let you stream.
Yeah, we will shut you down. You're whitelisted. If you're caught showing video or music from our games, we're going to shut you down, give you a strike. Nintendo's allowing cross-platform play. But I don't know.
What would I do?
Granted, what would Microsoft be doing if they were in Sony's shoes right now? Would they care?
Probably not.
And that's just because Sony, when they first started it, they were like all about the gamers. Now they're like, we're on top.
Yeah.
And then Microsoft is like, come over here. We're throwing everything at you because we want you to buy our freaking systems.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's one last thing that I wanted to talk about, and I teased it on the last episode, but that was all the drama going on over BioWare. So this is kind of old news now, since we had to discuss E3 last week.
Right.
So basically, the team that made Andromeda is blaming everybody else for their problems. They blame the main team at Edmonton. They've been working on Anthem for stealing their ideas. I've seen that. Wow. They blame either the limitations or them not understanding the Frostbite engine. Literally, Mass Effect Andromeda was developed in a 14-month cycle.
Right, yeah.
It was in development for 5 years and was only taken up to its point where it got released 14 months prior to that.
Right.
Crazy. So why was that? Well, their original intent for the game was that it was going to be a large open world, custom generating, explorable galaxy.
Like Star Citizen.
Or the game that recently came out that flopped.
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky. Which apparently is now getting more and more closer to its original promise. Because they keep updating it, and they haven't given up on saying we're going to try and deliver you the product that we said we were going to deliver. Cool on them, only no one's playing it anymore.
Right.
So maybe by the time they're done updating that game, it might be worth picking that game up again, tossing it in, and go, let's see what they've done with it.
Right.
And see, that would be. I actually thought that would be a pretty cool segment to kind of do, is to do re-reviews.
I do have No Man's Sky still.
Yeah, we'll see. And think about it. It's like, let's go out and let's just use this as an example. Assassin's Creed Unity.
Yeah.
And how broken that game was. And by the time they finished patching it and updating it, it was just fine.
Right.
But let's review it without the updates. And then review it after the updates.
Yeah, with the updates, yeah.
So it's like, I think that'd be really cool because oftentimes when games get reviewed, they don't get reviewed again.
Right.
It's like initial reaction, blah, blah, blah. It's like Andromeda. Andromeda's the same way. It's going to be updated and updated and updated into where, people are going to be happy with it. But then it's like, at that point, a lot of people probably stop playing.
Yeah, at this point,
I mean, people still play Andromeda. I mean, it's not like people are like, oh, screw this game.
A lot of people did. A lot of people have said screw this game, which is why the Mass Effect series is now officially on ice. Nothing is being planned for it. There, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I'm aware, no DLCs coming out for the game at all. Which
they're still messing with the multiplayer though.
They are still supporting the multiplayer, and they're still doing that for a while. Okay, which that's standard operating procedure. They're going to support that at least for a year. So the group at BioWare that made Andromeda knew what this game was going to be before it got released. They were expecting the scores that it was going to get.
Yeah.
So basically they have. I don't know if it's just at BioWare or EA or whatever, and I'm sure a lot of developers do this. They send it off to a group, either within the team or like off to the side. Then they play the game and they give them. It's almost like a mock review. It's like, this is what I would give this game. So they have like a group of people. It's like basically they're testing the game, but they're test reviewing the game.
Right.
Then the test reviews came back pretty similar to what a lot of the sites and media gave it. And the internal mindset was, okay, this is just the first one. We'll live with that, and then we'll do a better job next time.
BioWare was not happy about that.
Well, that team no longer exists in its current in that state.
Yeah.
The team that made Andromeda never made a game before, never made an open world game before, never made an RPG game before. And it was a lot was asked of them.
Yeah.
While the main team was like, we're gonna go do something new because we're burnt out on Mass Effect, burnt out on all this other stuff. We want to make something new, and of course that's Anthem.
Right.
This new team was created to oversee Mass Effect Andromeda, and it's not a bad game. I even reviewed it myself. At highest, I would give it an 8.5. That's good.
Yeah.
And in fact, if Andromeda were the first game in a whole new franchise, not even called Mass Effect. Hey, it's a good start, man.
Right.
I can't wait for the next one. But it's actually the fourth.
Right.
So it undershot. And while, as a Mass Effect fan, I liked it, it wasn't everything that I wanted it to be.
Right.
Either in story or even in some cases gameplay. Gameplay was really fun, if not repetitive. But the whole idea behind the No Man's Sky type thing,
yeah,
they found out they couldn't do it. So they're like, all right, let's scale that back down to 30 planets to go and explore. They couldn't do that. They ended up scaling it back down to 7.
Right.
So I really feel like they have a good basis with Andromeda. The problem is that it didn't sell any more than the other games. I don't know where it is at now, but I want to say it sold around 3.5 or 3.8, 3.6 million copies.
Right.
Which was just under what Mass Effect 3 did. Really, that's kind of good.
Yeah.
But here's what hurt them too, was that they knew they were releasing a poorer quality game than what was being expected. They knew it, and EA still put it out on their access.
Right.
For people to test play it for like 6 hours. Literally, people got hours into this game, and people decided not to buy it. Meanwhile, if you would have said, no, you can't test play it, you just got to buy it, that would have been way more people who would have bought that game.
Yes. Yes.
You know, it's granted, EA Access is cool because it saved those people money who didn't want to buy it.
Yes.
So the people who would have bought it and then been disappointed, that would have stayed. It sucks for them.
Right.
And I'm totally on there. I'm totally on the consumer side, because I definitely want the consumer to send a message to the developers, to the company, and say, no, we don't want this.
Right.
And so, unfortunately, a great franchise like Mass Effect has to suffer because of it.
Yeah. And
so when you get to that level, and now like we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if we're going to get a sequel to Andromeda ever. Even though they left so much open to be explained, and it was like this game did not end like Mass Effect 1 ended, where it was like this could be the ending. It was kind of said that there's more to do, and that the Reapers are still out there, but it wrapped it up in a bow where it was like, maybe this is the end. Maybe we did stop it.
Right.
And if they're back, Shepard will stop them. In this one, it's like, oh hey, Mom's alive.
Thanks for ruining the end of the game.
I didn't really ruin it.
Yeah, you did.
Because nothing happens. Nothing comes of it. Nothing comes of it. Literally. Okay, so spoiler alert. Everything that your character's dad was doing, as far as the AI goes, was trying to save the mom.
Right.
There's even a scene where you kind of have like the kids and him have his last moments with her. She is then frozen and taken to Andromeda with you under a false name, because he's hoping that he can find a cure over there.
Huh.
And she's still alive. She still has cancer, but she's frozen.
Right.
And so you end up finding out that, and then you and the other sibling are like talking about it, like, why didn't Dad tell us? It's like, it wasn't time for us to know yet, blah, blah, blah. And then that's the end of it. They don't really talk about that again. So it's like next game stuff. Which now
we're looking at.
I mean, I haven't. So it's like
no resolution.
What would I do? So I asked myself, what would I do if I was in charge of BioWare, and I'm like, I have this situation. Number one, I would let Mass Effect rest for a little bit. Wouldn't touch it. Focus on Anthem. Focus on Dragon Age 4, or whatever they're going to call it. Get those games out. And then if the question ever comes back to Mass Effect, by the time you get back to it, because we might be looking at an Anthem sequel before then.
Right.
It's like by that point, we're looking at 2023, 2024, 2025, right?
Yeah.
What would I do? It's like
Mass Effect.
Yeah, you remake Mass Effect. You take what you learned and what you kind of did with the exploration of Andromeda, then you just remake the first Mass Effect. You already have the story laid out. People already know it. You can't fuck it up unless you just change it. Just take the story and change the aspects around it. Change the exploration aspects around it. And then you tell that story. And then what do you do from there? Remake 2. You basically remake the entire trilogy.
Yeah.
Basically trying not to screw it up as you go along the way, because there's going to be people who say, you mess up 2, I'll kill you. I'm one of those. Because 2 didn't have the exploration, but it was the characters, it was the story, like, and even the main plot really wasn't that strong. It was the characters around it, forming your crew,
right?
Becoming closer to your crew. That was the meat of that game. But then it's like people are like, well, would you change the ending? It's like, sure, but what I would do is leave the original endings in there,
right,
and then add the happy ending that people wanted. Win conventionally is what I would put in. So that way you still have the original endings, the original artistic integrity of the 3 ending.
It's the air.
Oh, I'm like...
That's my air intake.
Well, it kind of sounded like... it started like blowing wind. Like, that was sudden. But that's what... I don't know, man. I'm very upset being a massive Mass Effect fan that things have turned out this way.
Yes.
Because it isn't what I wanted to happen. I wanted Andromeda to be the boom, kick in the ass. Let's go. Let's have some more games. But we're not getting that. Instead, we're getting Anthem. Should be good in its own right. It's not going to be like what I want, but
right.
It might be enough for me to check it out if I can play with my friends and be able to do that. As far as like, I don't feel comfortable playing with my friends if I have a screaming toddler in the room.
With your friends?
Online.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be playing with people online if my kid is screaming.
Yeah.
Or bugging me. Well, number one, it's hard for me to play games when he's bugging me anyway.
Right.
So, like...
He's slapping the controller.
He tries to reach for it. He tries to sit with me.
Yeah.
And then I'll let him sit with me, but he can't touch it. And then he keeps trying to touch it, and I tell him no. Most of the time, he's kind of good. But it's like playing like something like Persona, which is a turn-based RPG.
Right.
Pretty easy to do. Playing GTA, I tried doing that.
Oh, no.
That's hard. That is super hard.
Uh-uh.
So playing a shooter, I imagine, would not be that much fun either.
Probably not. Not especially online.
No. Yeah, I mean, that's just like the BioWare situation, and it's really sad because it's just we may get an Andromeda sequel, and they may just say, you know what, damn it, this was started. There's enough people who liked it and bought it and liked it. Let's make this better.
Hopefully.
Let's take what they've started and treat that as Mass Effect 1 style. And let's make Andromeda 2, and let's make it what it was supposed to be. And then when it comes out, we're going to have to come from behind. We're going to have to get people to want to buy this game, and they're going to say, guys, you're not going to get burned this time. We promise.
Right.
And it's going to have to be the main team that makes it.
Yeah.
Make the team make, maybe do that in between Anthem. If they're going to do a sequel to Anthem, have them go, well, let's sleep on the sequel to Anthem so that way you guys can kind of refresh a little bit. And let's see what we can really do when we put the main team focus on Andromeda? What can we do with that?
Right.
And then turn that around and then make your sequel to Andromeda. I don't know. I would like to see it, but then again, with them kind of like coming out and just saying it's on ice when basically the game is still only a few months old.
Right.
That's not a good sign.
No.
So I think that's it.
I think it's it.
I think that's it from me. You know what? I think I might have a different I just had a brain fart. Recommendation.
Oh, yeah?
Okay.
Don't steal mine.
Huh?
Don't steal mine.
Wait, what's yours? Just no Double Dash? Okay, yeah, no. Mine, no. Okay, so on Father's Day, I got to go back into my game room and play some games.
All right.
So I'm sitting there and I'm trying out Skies of Arcadia. And the game freezes on me. Not just going, but it actually, for the battle screen, it spins around.
Yeah.
And it just kept spinning around. And I'm like, it was like the first boss. I'm like, come on.
Right.
Come on. And, well, it didn't work. So I'm like, you know what? All right, fine. And I stared at my games for a little bit. I'm like, I'm in the game room. I don't want to go out and play Persona. I don't want to play GTA. I don't want to play anything else that I've been playing right now. Mario RPG. Let's go. That's my recommendation.
That is a good one.
And I started playing some Mario RPG, and I died 3 times. Man, I got destroyed. And I'm just like,
by the first boss?
No, by simple monsters. They're kicking my ass. But I kind of realized what I did wrong. I didn't buy stuff at the town.
Oh, yeah, they do it.
And so I only had so many mushrooms and the little flower things to help heal my magic. I got Malo, and we went to Bandit's Keep to take care of that, and then I kind of died along the way 3 times, and I'm like, rabble, I'm done playing this game.
Yes.
But it's awesome.
It's an amazing game.
I
wish I had a battery in mine that worked.
Dude, that game is cracking me up. When since Mario's a silent protagonist.
Yes.
How he acts out everything.
Yes.
Cracks me up.
I love that game.
And every time that he tries to leave the like the Toad Castle, King Toad stops him, and he ends up like falling down.
Yeah.
And he's like, wait a minute, and he ends up falling all the way down the steps.
That was a great game. Like, they did a fantastic job with that game all around. It had the Final Fantasy battle system in it. It was Mario, but it was this quirky something new with Mario that just it's great. It's great. It is a great game. I thoroughly enjoy it. There's a lot of humor in that game.
Yes.
And I love that about it.
Oh, man, it is so funny.
Especially with Bowser.
Yes.
Because he hates working with Mario. Hates it. But then, you see this side where he's like, oh, my little Wampa. And stuff like that. Something stupid stuff like that. He saves I can't remember the name of the chain.
Yeah. Yeah, to chomp him.
Chomp him. Yeah, he saves the chomp him. And he's like, it's okay. Everything will be okay. We'll get that bad man. It's like, that's not creepy at all.
I know. Anyway, yeah, that's my that's my recommendation, and yours, Double Dash, of course.
Double Dash, of course.
And of course, we're gonna actually get back on track with how we're doing our episodes, not at the last minute like we have been doing, but with some actual about a week out, and we're gonna be doing the next episode on the Gamecube. It's gonna be all about the Gamecube. No news, no nothing. It is all retrospective Gamecube. We're gonna be bringing some of our favorite games. Gonna have all 3 colors of the system available in the U.S. I want to say there's an orange spice, but I think that was an import.
It is an import, and I've seen it once.
I
wanted to buy it. You were there.
Yeah, it's a Japanese import.
Import.
So I think that's kind of cool because it's going to be for the first time we're going to have for these later systems every version. For example, when we do PS2, I don't have the fat PS2 anymore.
Yeah, I don't either.
And so it's it'd be really cool to have all 3 of these. And I don't have a massive collection, but I have a lot of really just what I wanted. I only have a few left to get on that console.
Really, on this console, I mean, you've got your core games. Outside of the core games, I'm not I don't really care. Like the
Well,
Sonics and stuff like that.
Well, it has. Cool, well, I mean, it does have some cool games. It did get some cool ports, which we'll talk about.
Right.
From the game or from the Dreamcast, but yeah, dude, I cannot wait to sit back and talk to you about the GameCube, which will be next week's episode. Until then, make sure you guys check us out on all of our social medias. We're on the Facebooks, we're on the Twitters, we're sharing podcasts left and right. So go check out all those too, man. We're a part of the Potter family. Big shout out to all those who share us on there.
Yes,
and you can check us out there. It's at Game Addicts Play. We're on YouTube. Check out Game Addicts Podcast. We'll pop up. You can watch us and see our beautiful faces and our collections of stuff here on the table. If I remember to hit the record button on the camera.
Which you did.
Which I did this time, and we don't have to worry about capturing like...
I don't know. Is that red? I don't see a red light blinking.
It's there.
Are you sure?
Yep. A red dot right there. I did it. So yeah, we're on there as well. Of course, we're on all your favorite audio-based, most of your favorite ones. Of course, we're on iTunes, we're on Podbean, we're on Stitcher Radio, we're on Google Play Music. So if you have any of that, if you have Podcast Addict, you download that app. That subscribes directly from the iTunes feed. So if you don't have iTunes, if you don't want to download any of the other ones, you can just download that, and we're all right there. I got a big, nice, long collection of podcasts on there now, more than what I did last time when I read them. Shout out because I found some of those through the Twitters.
Right.
And so, if you guys want to go do that and subscribe and rate us, that'd be cool. Get us up there in the rankings and get more eyes and ears on this podcast. But until next time, thank you for watching or listening. I'm Brando.
And I'm Mike.
And we'll see you next time.